DC Multiverse!
So what do we got here today, folks? We have the McFarlane Toys Batman and Spawn 2-pack. Now this little gem is based off of, very loosely, I might add, if the back of the box and the trading cards are to be believed, the classic Frank Miller Todd McFarlane one-shot. Oh, well, there was also this story, and then more recently, this story. And even though, out of the package, both of these figures actually look pretty good. You got a cool looking Batman, and you got a nice classic-ish looking Spawn with a full drape cape. Batman doesn't really look like he does in any of the appearances with Spawn. As a side note, I made a custom Batman figure to go with the Spawn, and I think that this, I don't know, be the judge yourself, but I kind of like mine better. But just on its own, this set, vanilla with Batman and Spawn, is still definitely, as far as I'm concerned, worth the buy. Why is that? Well, gentle listener, for starters, in my opinion, you get a very cool Spawn figure that is probably one of the best. I mean, it's a reuse of the body, the same, it's Throne Spawn, just with a different cape. And a big-ass sword right here. I do wish that the collar was different for this. I mean, I get it. It's Spawn, so the collar's all over the place because, well, it's Spawn. But I'm, you know, my OCD is like, but it's not symmetrical. It's all over the place. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. That's just my own personal taste. This huge, thick rubber cape is, well, very huge and thick. But it is cool. Let's take the sword out of his hand. That we do get that full cape. Now, if we were going to have a Spawn that was accurate to the trading cards in the back of the box, then we would have a classic Spawn. And I really wish that Todd would give us a classic Spawn. Aside from the Kickstarter Spawn, I believe this is the closest we've ever gotten. This is kind of the classic Spawn, but also not. Side by side, I'm not even sure which one I like better. Perhaps if we had this Spawn here, with this Spawn's cape, I'm not going to bother going through the articulation really because, well, let's face it, this body buck has been used before and we pretty much know what it can do. I will mention though that the cape, if you're really hoping for hyperposability of the arms, well, you're not going to get it. You're up the creek without a paddle on account of the great big huge rubber cape. And Batman, he is, I think, a complete reused body, only with a brand new cape with the sharp, pointy shoulder things that from time to time crop up in Batman pictures, and a new head sculpt with incredibly long, pointy ears and an open mouth. I will say that I think my favorite part of this figure is the cape. It's huge and heavy, and right here it is really, really thick. But it is a very cool looking cape. So if you're Mr. Shelf Posy guy like me, then he's just going to look fantastic on a shelf. And while I really don't plan on doing the articulation for this Batman on account of the fact that we've seen this body bucket work so many times, I will say I'm going to keep campaigning for different ankles to be used because, as usual, these bad boys can be just a little problematic in where they click and how well you can stand up Batman and expect him to not fall over. Also, as you can see, this figure pack comes with a background that can be switched to the Spawn background with all of the skulls and whatnot, and it looks more creepy and scary. Or you can have the classic Batman Spawn picture in the background from the cover. Or, of course, you can just have nothing at all. The choice is really up to you. Which, really, while we're on the topic, this is a really neat backdrop card holder. I mean, I really wish that it was a figure base, like there were pegs on it, you know, places to put their feet, rather than just something for the background. Because although this here is a neat concept, you know, to have the backdrop inside of the bones here, how cool would it have been to have the characters able to stand on all these skulls? So I guess overall I would give this set a solid 7.2 out of 10, docking marks for the fact that they're not actually accurate to how they're depicted on the art cards and the back of the box, and clearly where the source material is coming from. But it is nice that we did get a 2-pack in the first place, and I'm really digging the Spawn figure and the Batman figure as separate entities, as their own figures. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it useful, and I will see you with the next one. Bye-bye.